After having a standoff with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Vita Vea has now been extended, adding a year to his current deal. Not necessarily comparable to the others, but he gets some new money. Then we're going to talk about Christian Gonzalez and the New England Patriots not necessarily being close on an extension for the cornerback. And to end today's episode, we got to talk about the Texans losing a wide receiver and see if A.J. Brown really shaded his Eagles teammates. But before we talk about it and break it all down, y'all already know you gotta hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, NFL fans, and welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by Steve-O. So if you tuned in, regardless of the team that you root for, but you love talking football, make sure you support the channel the easiest way possible by simply hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Steve-O, what's the word?
Football. It's football tonight.
Yes, sir. We got some games coming up, man. Fernando Mendoza might be, running out there again. Let's see if he can have another good game. But hey, we got to talk about some dollars being handed out to a guy that was on the sideline. Like, yeah, I'll show up to training camp, but I ain't doing nothing until I get some more money. And then it was reported yesterday, according to Adam Schefter, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Vita Vea agreed to a 1-year extension. Now, Steve-O, we talked about it while this whole thing was going on. Him making $18 million this upcoming season compared to some of those new defensive tackles that got paid upwards of $30 million. We was like, yeah, ain't no way. Ain't no way he that far down. And he looking at that market. But now he's pretty much a 1-year extension with added on money for this season. So they added on to his contract an additional $6 million for this upcoming season. So he'll be making $24 million this year and have a 1-year extension, making $24 million next year. Steve-O, how you feeling about Vita Vea getting his money on?
I mean, I like that he getting his money, but the decision of it being a 1-year deal, I just feel like it's leaning down the road that y'all not going to be together long term anyway. So you might as well moved on from this situation, in my opinion. I mean, you just gave him a little bit more money. Yeah, he deserves it, but like, I feel like this might hurt you down the road because this is a deal you would do if it's like, okay, we have a real significant chance of winning the championship. And I wouldn't say this is a move that's going to put y'all in contendership at all. I mean, y'all are what y'all are. I'm not saying y'all a bad team, but I don't think anybody would consider Tampa Bay, even with Baker Mayfield, talking about we going to shock some people. Yeah, it's good to have that confidence, but I can't say with full confidence that I feel like y'all would be a contender compared to everybody else in the NFL. So, I mean, it's just a Band-Aid for right now. I mean, I'm sure it makes Vita Vea happy. I'm sure he has his 50-50. You want to go 50-50. He loves Tampa. He's been there for the majority of his career, if not his whole career. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool for Vea. I don't know what it means for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I agree with you on that. I think it's one of those things to where you look at the situation and you say, hey, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kind of put a Band-Aid on one situation with the Vita Vea scenario, but there is still that other point to where do you go from here? Because Steve-O, it hasn't been released though, what type of guaranteed money he's going to be getting out of this deal. So it appears that while he's getting a raise via Vita Vea, that is, it still seems like they can move on next off season. You know what I'm saying? So Vita Vea was looking at a long-term extension, you know what I'm saying? Probably his last big cash in. And that didn't necessarily happen when you considering guys like Jeffrey Simmons and others receiving upwards of $30 million per season. He's still, in my opinion, a bit underpaid, but you got to take it for what it is. It seems like it's a deal that made him happy, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get one of the best defensive tackles back on the field. Now, Steve-O, you said something that's interesting about the long-term situation and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers potentially missing out on something. It was reported that while they did get a deal done, the Chicago Bears and the Buffalo Bills did reach out. So I got to ask you how you feeling about those teams being involved, and asking the question, did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers miss an opportunity to gain some type of draft assets that could have helped, you know what I'm saying, them for years and years down the road? How you feeling about that?
I think there's a possibility that they did miss out because, quite frankly, those are two teams where it made sense for them to go like that, especially the Buffalo Bills, who's already looked at as a real life contender. And in that is just to solidify, it's almost just especially to go against the Rams and the people that they have to beat to win the championship. So that makes sense. Bears, of course, also makes sense because it made a little bit more sense because Vita Vea could be a catalyst to make us more of a contender than we probably already not, if not looked at or possibly could looked at with his addition. So I think that would have made more sense, and definitely both teams probably would have gave them some type of draft compensation. May not been the best, but it would have been something. Versus you might just lose Via Vea next year for nothing.
I agree with that. When you look at the Bills and the Chicago Bears, if they would have been able to acquire a guy like Vita Vea, that would have changed the trajectory for both of those franchises because how good he is. And to your point about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there could have been a potential of you, let's say for the sake of discussion, getting a second or a third round pick for Vita Vea. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's going to be some negotiations with that draft capital, but having additional seconds versus now you potentially losing out on Via Veda sounds better for your long-term future, especially with some of the questions surrounding Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield moving forward. So you're going to need these additions in the form of draft assets to be on your side. So, hey, it's good for the now, but we're definitely going to be watching to see what happens as this thing push forward. Because sometimes you got to cut your losses early in this league, and if not, they'll come back and bite you in the ass for real.
Most definitely.
So we'll see what happens with it. The smart teams, they do things the right way. Obviously, one philosophy doesn't work for everybody, but one thing that we know for sure, if you cut your losses early, you might end up in a decent situation. And I hate to keep bringing them up, Steve-O, but look at the Cowboys. They cut their losses early. Now one can make the argument this is they was able to recover quite well with those draft assets for this defense. We'll see what they be this upcoming season, but they did well, and we'll see how it affects the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the end of the day.
We definitely gonna see.
For sure. Y'all let us know how y'all feeling about Vita Vea going and returning to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down below. Chime in on that conversation. But hey, it's time to move this thing along, Steve-O. Now, according to Adam Schefter, after Devin Witherspoon received his extension with the Seattle Seahawks, all eyes were pointed to the New England Patriots in their contract talks with Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback. And according to Adam Schefter, two sides are not close. He went on to say this. He said, I'm not so sure that the Christian Gonzalez deal is going to get done so quickly. Obviously, there's a lot of parameters in place, and there's the roadmap that Devin Witherspoon presented. Up until this weekend, the two sides weren't overly close, and they had not had a lot of productive conversations. End quote. How you feeling about this whole situation here is the first thing I want to ask.
Repeat the question one more time because I want to make sure I say this properly.
How you feeling about the whole Christian Gonzalez and New England Patriots negotiations that they are not close?
Because they're not close on either side.
They said Adam Schefter said they haven't had a lot of productive conversations.
I just feel like the conversation need to start getting very progressive because this position ain't getting any more cheaper. It's the second, if not, is it not the second most expensive position in the whole league?
You said the cornerback?
Yes. Is it not? Is quarterback, wide receiver,
cornerback.
So it's third, it's top three.
Or defensive lineman somewhere in there.
Yeah, so it's in the top and most paid at the position, and he's the best player, one of the best players at it. The longer you wait, the more money you go have to pay. So you see how much Devin Witherspoon just got from Seattle And if I'm not mistaken, the cap and money situation is way more better than in the Pittsburgh situation than it is Seattle. So get the man his money. Come to an agreement. Because I'm telling you, the longer you wait, especially if this go throughout the season and he's healthy and he lives up to everything that he's been since he's been drafted, you're going to be looking at 140, 150. Because Denver just get what 138, 137?
Something around there, like 130.
You're going to be looking at 140, 150. Keep it up. That's how I feel about the situation. Like, I get it. You want to negotiate, and you should negotiate. But for y'all not to be close, that means either one person is either extremely high or y'all lowballing him.
Oh, and that's how you don't want to go into this.
You don't want to go, and I'm praying and honestly the best case scenario. I hope it is just Christian wanting 140 right now or something like that.
Yeah, because that's something that we're gonna have to monitor for sure. Just for reference, Devon Witherspoon, he pretty much signed. He signed for 4 years, $132 million last week. It's really simple, New England Patriots. Find some common ground. The highest paid cornerback is making 132. You just go to Christian Gonzalez and say, we're going to give you 133. That's according to the market. And then everything will be sealed, and you can go ahead and move on with the football stuff if you're the New England Patriots negotiating with Christian Gonzalez. It's really that simple. The blueprint is there. I don't know what we're waiting on. Because to Steve-O's point, the longer you wait, the higher the price. We always say over here, yesterday's price ain't today's price. So you have today to make some things happen. Like, I don't get it. He's absolutely in that upper echelon of stuff. And we already know the sooner you do it, the better the deals look as time goes on. Like when Ryan Poles signed Jalen Johnson to a nice extension. He ain't even getting paid in a top 10 now, and it's been years. So that's a deal that over time it looks better and better as the salary cap goes up for NFL teams. Sometimes I just don't get it with some of these executives. Like, obviously, you don't know what the future holds for some of these players because of injuries and other things. But at the same time, you can't sit on your laurels with these damn decisions and pussyfoot around the situation. Why does it seem like these very, very quote unquote smart people in these front offices, why do they act like they don't know that these negotiations will be coming? I don't get it. Look at Jerry Jones. As much credit I have given Jerry Jones, Steve-O, for how he traded Michael Parsons and rebuilt that
vitriol, you should say.
And you know what I'm saying? And rebuilt that defense in Dallas. Bro, let's keep it a buck. What Green Bay paid Michael Parsons, Jerry Jones wouldn't have never had to pay close to that if Jerry Jones would have just took care of the business because he knew it was coming. What are we doing? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's why as much flack as my fan base want to give our GM, one thing he don't play about, and he don't play stupid, is when it comes to contracts. He know it's coming, and he know when, where, and how much to do, and he gets straight to the business. That's one thing I can say about my GM, and I love him for it.
For real, because you gotta, bro. I believe that it's a part of the front office's job to have foresight. Yes, you want to live in the present.
Shit, 60% of that job is foresight.
Bro, like, come on. Like, obviously, you're going to want to live in the present, but you can't ignore what's coming down the pike. Like, you can't do this. Like, to the point to where you talk about Ryan Poles making Darnell Wright one of the highest paid right tackle. A couple days after, Darnell Wright wasn't the highest paid tackle anymore. Because they had in place emphasis on getting it done. So now the deal, as time goes on, is going to look so much better. Like, I don't get it, bro. We understand it as football fans, but how do people getting paid millions don't understand it? It'd be crazy to me.
Especially people that are doing the contracts.
Exactly. I'd be like, bro, ain't no way. The New England Patriots, yeah, and y'all still don't have to pay Drake May. Well, they can offer Drake May an extension after this season because he'll be the year 3 eligible. But then that's still 2 years of you having him on a rookie deal before the real money kicks in. Like, come on, bro. I don't get it. Every time we talk about these contracts, it just be so funny how some people act like they're flabbergasted about the decisions that's coming down the pike for their organization and their players. It'd be crazy.
Especially the top players.
Exactly. It's not like he a middle of the pack player looking to reset the market.
Right.
Yeah, he actually one of those. I guess. I guess, bro. But hey, before we get up out of here, we want to touch on AJ Brown with these New England Patriots having joint practice versus his former team. Now, if you all are looking at around social media, you see that both teams are currently partaking in a joint practice. And in day one of the joint practice, AJ Brown comes out of facility, daps up a staff member of the Eagles, and keeps on chugging along onto the football field. I don't have an issue with it. Steve-O, you feel like AJ Brown shaded his Eagles teammates, or you looking at this like, it's nothing?
It's nothing. I ain't worried about it. He on a different team now, and it's joint practice. Like, I could see it being a big deal game the first time y'all play against each other, and then after the game he says nothing. Then that's something to talk about, I guess. But it's joint practice. Hey, man, I'm worried about my business. I'm at work.
That's how I feel, bro. If anybody thinks that AJ Brown was shading the Philadelphia Eagles teammates, I think y'all looking too much into this. We literally running outside to go on the field to work, to work against each other. And AJ Brown himself had an interview with Sal Antonio and pretty much said, I'll catch up with them guys later. He did mention that he hasn't talked to Jalen Hurts up until this point, which I don't give a damn. It's not my business. I don't care. If anybody have a bunch of thoughts into him and Jalen having to be close, I think, bro, it's just what life is. Sometimes you
everybody ain't gonna be cool.
Exactly. It's sometimes work relationships are just work relationships. It is what it is. I don't think nothing of it, Steve-O.
That's literally what it is. I don't. This notion of people gotta like people to work with them is it's always been false, and it don't matter. That's how I am in real life. I come to work and I leave. I ain't here to be friends. I ain't here to talk. I ain't here to gossip. If I happen to be cool with you, that's fine. That don't necessarily make us friends.
Facts.
And even if we are friends, my friends know when I'm on business. I'm on business. Don't call me. I talk to you afterwards, or I talk to you when I talk to you.
For sure, I agree with you. Bro, you can't mean to tell me one person gonna be cool with all 52 men in the locker room. It's not happening.
These motherfuckers on the office don't even know defensive players' names.
Bro. But hey, man, before we get up out of here, Steve-O, we got just an injury report just to bring up. So after the Houston Texans received good news about Tank Dell being able to return to football activity, they lost a wide receiver this time in Jaden Higgins, who I feel bad for because I actually like the young fella and was hoping that he can come in and help out this Texas offense who really, really needs to carry their own weight for the sake of the Texans defense, bro. But how you feeling about the loss of wide receiver Jaden Higgins with a torn ACL?
It's tough. It's tough. It's a lot of speed you losing right there, and that's something you got a game plan for, and especially with it's good to know Tank is coming back, but you don't know what version the Tank is coming back.
Right.
So it's just gonna be even more hard on Collins and the rest of that offense. So hey, I've always said, I feel like the offense should lean on this running game because I feel like the running game could be pretty aggressive and pretty positive, in my opinion, if they run on it the right way. And it just proves to me that this is a year where I don't think you could just let CJ loose.
No, CJ Stroud got a lot to prove to himself and this team because they already came to the table and said, we're not paying you nothing. Oatmeal, nothing. It's not happening. They ain't paying them nothing. So you definitely gonna have to lean heavily on that running game for sure. The addition of David Montgomery, I think, is gonna do wonders for them. But obviously, the OC is going to have to call a game that's tailored to writing the story, telling the story, and adjusting accordingly for CJ Stroud to be right. You cut the blocks off. I hope you got a new mindset, brother, for sure.
Bro.
We're trying to see you ball out, man. You let your team down last year, for sure. But hey, Steve-O, you got anything left, man?
We got a little bit of news. Taylor Rapp just signed with the I think that was the
Buffalo Bills.
No. He left the
Denver
Bills.
Yeah,
Denver Broncos. Yeah,
for sure. I ain't mad
that's a nice little move.
For real, a lot of teams gonna be positioning themselves. Oh, Steve-O, we gotta talk about something. We gotta watch something coming down the pike, bro. Do you know there was a ruling in college football that may allow college players that went undrafted and who participate in NFL teams to potentially return to school?
Yeah, they already got 5 motherfuckers ready. Yeah, we gonna talk about it. Yeah, they got
That's
5.
crazy.
They already got a motherfucker from LSU, a dude from LSU. I mean, Ole Miss. They just like 5, 6 players. They already trying to do it already.
Bro, they said it was a total of 30 players.
And the NFL already to sue all of them.
Crazy work, bruh. But it's gonna be similar to how the NBA is. We just had a player for my NBA team, the Chicago Bulls, come play through summer league, get practice in with some of these teams, get granted eligibility, and said to hell with y'all. I'm going back to Texas A&M for the bag.
And I don't even think that ain't getting the bag for real, but
he getting more than what he was gonna get once his ass would have got cut from the Bulls.
It must gotta be.
He definitely was. But hey, more to come on that, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely more to come on that. There's supposed to be a ruling happening, I believe, this weekend, and we gonna definitely have to talk about it for sure.
For sure.
But hey, man, that is it from us today, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of NFL Central. Ensure that you hit the like button and you join the NFL Central family. This is football people, man, regardless of the team that you root for. So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football. Y'all already know. We're going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
This has been a presentation